Hey guys, this is Hell Hades. This is a Raid Shadow Legends video. Guys, we've got the Shiny Old Portal. I did say I'm going to grab this guy so that you can see what he's like. Archbishop Pinthroy. I think he's a good general support champion, but we will see. 150 Ancients. I bought a couple of packs. Honestly, I couldn't bring myself to buy any more of this pack string because it's so damn overpriced for what it is. So I'm going to burn some gems just to get over the mark. But, you know, if you're watching this and there's still a day and a half or so left, I would say wait to see if there's better packs if you're needing to buy packs. So let's do this. 150 shards. We may as well do a shard pull as well. See what we get along the way. Fingers crossed, you know. 153 shards I've got. Will we get another legendary along the way? We hope so. We hope so. And if we get him early, even better. But yeah, this is interesting. It's a terrible time to pull shards generally. There's not like a great shard event going on, anything like that. But it's a guaranteed legendary as opposed to, you know, you just trying your luck on a 2 times. 150 shards to get one at the end. You should have got one by now anyway on a 2 times. So I think it's kind of, if the legendary is good enough, it's kind of a good thing to save up for. The question is if this legendary is actually good enough. He's not the game changer, but he's decent. He will support you right through the game. He certainly is a good Hydra champion, and I think he's a pretty solid arena champion as well. But yeah, the question is he good enough for an average account that's not like a collector like me to pull 150 shards for? Hopefully we can get to find out in this video. Doom Priest here. There's not many epic non-voids that I'm keen to get. We're really looking for gold on the main account. If I was on the free-to-play right now and I just pulled a Doom Priest, I probably would wet myself because I'm struggling for champions on the free-to-play. But this is what it looks like when there's not a 2 times going on. Lots of blue. Whole sea of blue. Come on. Let's have something better. Oh yeah, it's actually, I think that might be new for me. I think I fused all of the ones I had, so that could be pretty useful. Certainly for a max damage video, if nothing else. Right, 60 more. Anything worth having in the mix? Come on, game. Give me something. All blue. All blue. Pressure's on. Canoness, give her a buff. Come on. Nothing. Nothing worthwhile. How do people... I don't know how people just pull shards at random times like this. It must be so horrendous for your morale when you play this game. Save your shards for events. Honestly, this is sickening to see the blues. Anything good? Fang Cleric is pretty useless as well. Come on. Tanix, one of the login champions. Marco is actually a decent rare. Lots of damage. Wow, this has been a pretty dismal set. Pretty dismal. What? Is this the Archbishop? Yeah, okay. I was thinking yes, and then I'm like, no, it's the one I'm guaranteed. Okay, so we got the Archbishop. Nothing much else to talk about there. But Archbishop, he's got 10 books. It's actually quite low for a legendary. 10 books is not too bad. Where do you want them to land? And obviously you can't choose this, but where would you like them to land? The A3 on a 4 turn would be way better, way stronger. His heal is where I see a lot of his value. So on a 4 turn, you kind of want to land 2 books in the A3. The A2 is also very good, but the increased accuracy is happening anyway, and the attack's happening. The heal reduction is happening. So all you're gaining here is a cooldown and the block buffs. But I'd say the block buffs may be the best part of this ability. So, yeah, I mean, the books here are a massive help. If you're someone who's like a free-to-play or whatever, then this isn't as important, I think, as this ability. And in the A1, you don't really care about books in this skill at all. Okay, so you're kind of looking for, you know, if I was doing it as a low spender account, I'd be like dropping 2 in at a time and hoping they land in the A3. If they don't, I drop 2 in again and I keep going until the A3 is booked. That's pretty much the way I would play this. See, I'm going to burn all of my books, I'm sure. So far, nothing's landed in the A3 at all, which means we end up fully booking the dude, and he's laughing at me from behind his altar. Is he fully booked? Yeah, max booked. Great. Right, we're going to start with the silly build. I know this is not going to be how you'd normally build him out, but let's see what he does for damage. We've gone for maximum attack and crit rate and crit damage. We've gone for damage masteries to start with, just to see what he can do. Is he a tickler, or is he one of these kind of secret nukes? He does have an AoE hit, so, you know, it's worth testing these things out. Try him on Dragon 19 with my damage setup. What do I want in here? This, and this. With her, with him. And obviously, for those that have seen some of my max damage videos, yeah, we start to get a good feel for what's nice. You know, if we're hitting 200k across the board on an AoE, we're pretty happy with that. It's not a bad smack. Let's throw this out there. Drop defense and weaken everywhere. More damage. This is unrealistic. You're going to have these all in your team all the time. Yes, I know, but it's fun to test. So here we go. Let's do his AoE first. What's he going to do on the AoE? This is the A2. The A3 doesn't hit. It's just a heal. The A2 then. AoE hits. Talking like 180. I think that was about 180 to 200 across the board. It's a pretty solid hit. It's not crazy, but it's actually pretty solid for an ability that does so much else. The reason why you test these things is because it kind of just lets you know, should I build crit rate on him at all? Should I build anything out other than support stats? And look, honestly, that's probably the way you go is support stats. But it's still interesting to see that he does a bit of a smack. A1, 190 as well. It's actually not bad. So his damage multipliers are pretty solid for someone who does, you know, so many other things, so many other abilities. Let's see that smack again. It's about 150-ish on the AoE. So, and this is, as I say, best case scenario for this dude. Big old shield coming in there. Okay, so in terms of some damage, he can do it. Now let's build him out as I probably would for general. But damn, 200k. Actually quite a nice little smack going on there. So we're going to build out the Archbishop next for Hydra. And one of the things that people don't really get, I guess I've not done tons of content on Hydra because I don't love it, but people don't really understand the requirements around accuracy and resistance. So you can come to hellhades.com, you can come Raid Shadow Legends, down to this Raid Stages tool. Yeah, and the Stages tool lets you basically look at any content in the game. So it could be Doom Tower, it could be Hydra. You click what encounter you're on, what level you're trying to fight, and it will tell you all of the enemies you're facing, how much they've got in terms of resistance and accuracy. Yeah, so some stuff can't be resisted, but a lot of stuff actually can on Hydra, and building out a support dude like this with high resistance is actually not a bad shout. So you see here, the resistance number of all of the heads is actually kind of low, which means that to land all of your debuffs against these guys, you're talking less than 200 accuracy required. It's actually low for high-end content. Whereas the accuracy of the heads, you're talking 220, 250, 300. You actually need a good 415 resistance to be able to resist a lot of the stuff going on. The main thing I want to resist here is the turn meter gain that these guys get. Because, yeah, the turn meter steal type of ability. Because that's super annoying. And it means that you start to skip goes, which we don't want to be doing. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to build him out on the optimizer. We're going to go for a balanced build because balance means I can choose like a stat gain that I really want to get. I'm saying minimum resistance, yes. Minimum accuracy, yes. The numbers we just spoke about. I'm going high speed, 250. Crit rate, some defense. This is a hard build. It's quite high-end build, I guess. But then Hydra is high-end content. And then after it's found all of those stats, I'm saying give me as much health as you can. Yeah, so health is going to help me stay alive. The reason we're going with this sort of defense number is because I'm thinking we're going to keep increased defense up for near enough all of the fight. Good resistance to make sure we keep our stuff. I've put the crit rate in there as a luxury because we've seen that he can do a bit of damage. But honestly, for a lot of people out there, you might just be like, forget the resistance. Forget the crit rate. Just give me survivability because that's his main way to do damage is keeping you in the fight for longer. Yeah, and he's your healer. Also, high health on him means he heals himself for more. So there's a lot of kind of stats in the mix here. If I was taking any out of the mix, it would be crit rate and take the damage away. And I would use War Master for his damage. So this feels like a pretty sexy build. We've got resistance gear coming in, speed gear coming in, resistance banner in the mix. So I'm going to put this on him, and then we'll see what he can do in Hydra. Okay, then. Team is ready. Pinthroy is built. So we've gone high HP, good speed, good crit rate, although the crit rate's probably not really required. High resistance, high accuracy. I've got a fast Duchess in the mix. She's part of the Goon Squad. High health, high speed. She's in there to just keep people alive. I'm going with Tomb Lord here. Tomb Lord is actually awesome for Hydra, especially this A1 decreased speed, like a guaranteed land. Also poisons. Poison's neither here nor there, really. AoE drop attack is useful, though, on a 4-turn. So we've got him with Giant Slam Mastery. Just show you these two masteries. We've got War Master on Duchess. We've got War Master with a lot of healing masteries on Archbishop. Yeah, so it's all about his heal on his A3 and his shielding. And then got 3 epics in the mix. So Geo with War Master, Stalwart Gear trying to keep him alive. We've got ourselves Ugo, arguably one of the best champions for Hydra in the game, including legendary champions. You know, AoE block buffs is one of the reasons why I was so keen to pick up Pinthroy. AoE block buffs is one of the key abilities for Hydra. And yeah, this one in particular is good because you've got decreased defense with it as well. And she's also bringing a fat heal and some resurrection capabilities and a leech. Like, there's tons in her kits, which is good. I've got her with War Master as well and healing masteries. I've also tried to go regen gear to stay alive. And I've got refresh accessories because I want her heal back as frequently as I can get it. So I've got 10% chance of that coming back. We've got Royal Guard in. He's not quite crit cap because he's actually my Fire Knight Royal Guard. But 222 speed, 98% crit rate, loads of damage. Him and Geo are my damage. Everyone else is in there to try and make the fight go longer and keep people alive. So let's jump in and let me show you how this works. We're going hard here. So yeah, just calling out Sophia really from my Discord. Senti as well and a few of the other shortened skills. But Sophia's kind of like, she's really tuned in to Hydra. She loves it. She loves Hydra. Or at least she loves it more than I do. So she's kind of given me a couple of ideas around team comps here. So the A1, this decreased speed ability is actually huge. You throw it on this dude on the left, the Head of Decay, the most annoying head in Hydra, the Cleansey dude. Because what you want to do is you want to push him behind the Head of Blights. Yeah, the Poison Cloud dude. Because we do want to get our block debuffs out there. I'm actually going to save... sorry, block buffs. I always call it debuffs. Block buffs out there. I might just throw this out first. No, I'm going to use Ugo's one. So we're going to put shields and stuff on us first. There's no point in me doing my burn yet because it's just going to be cleansed off by the annoying head. So we're going to go block buffs and drop defense here. Got it everywhere. If I didn't land my block buffs over here, I would literally just restart. That's how annoying Hydra is. Go in with the Royal Guard nuke. Good amount of damage. Tried to steal our buffs. Tried to put the Poison Cloud out. None of that's happened because of ordering now. We're about to get a full cleanse. There's no point dropping anything more. All I'm going to do is just nail into this one, try and kill it as quick as I can and hope for a different head. So it's done the full cleanse. Now we can basically start to do our rotation of abilities. I'm going to keep block buffs up as much as I can. A little bit annoying, increase attack's already over there. No point in a heal yet, so we're just going to try and throw a leech out. So block buffs being out there means that he's not going to steal our stuff, which is one of the most annoying things that they can do. Decreased speed being out there is actually really big as well. See that? We've got it on 3 heads now. That's useful. This is the head I would have preferred it on, honestly, but there you go. Going to get the burn out. So I think I'm going to put the burn on Head of Mischief. Yeah, because this is the one we can't target. And if he starts eating people up, it's incredibly difficult to deal with. There's a number of things going on here, right? There's a number of things going on. Do I need a heal? Yeah, I'll take the heal. Block buffed again. That's good. Try and get drop defense here. Try and get a leech over here. I'm just trying to spread debuffs out, honestly. Now we can go in with the AoE drop defense and attack. It means we're going to take less damage. I can try and steal this increase attack buff away. Good. He's not going to be causing me as much trouble. Got a couple of turns before this big cleanse comes in, so we're just going to try and keep debuffs out there. Keep block buffs out there. Keep my guys healed up. That's what Pinthroy's in there for, don't forget. Drop defenses everywhere, so we're just going to go wherever our kind of affinity is strong. Should have put decrease speed out, thinking of it. That was probably a bad move. But this is the comp. This is the way it's going to run. 1.5 mil in so far. It's a slow one. We know these fights are long. Block buffs is out everywhere. I'm saving this block buffs now for a while. Keep the heals going. And I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to play it through, see if we can do some decent damage, and then I'll come back in at the end. So I recorded the ending with my camera off and muted my mic. So that didn't help us. But basically, the head of Torment popped up, and yeah, just kind of the timing of it was awful and wrecked me, honestly. I couldn't be bothered to do a free regroup, so I took the 13 mil. Kind of gets me just below the second key. I'll probably max key it with someone else, but actually huge healing from the Bishop alongside Ugo. Both of them were pretty much MVPs of the team. Did about 4.5 million damage from both Geo and Royal Guard, about the same amount of damage each. Tumod was doing some work with that A1, but honestly, I'm not sure if he was as valuable as I thought. And Duchess only really came into her own when the head of Torment popped up, but then, yeah, that's RNG anyway. If only we didn't have the random heads re-popping, I think this game mode would be way more fun, honestly. I think that's, for me, the thing that I don't enjoy is the RNG of the random head popping out and just ruining your day. But this, yeah, certainly the Archbishop, I think is going to be a top-tier champion for this fight. Healing, shielding, AoE block buffs, AoE increased defense. Pretty damn solid. So for Hydra, I think he is actually a really valuable champion. In other content then, where else is he going to play? I can see him in faction war teams, high-end faction war teams, where you're trying to battle your way through some annoying waves. Okay, let's try him in a team like this. So we're going stage 20. The real kind of value I see from him in faction wars is when you need that AoE block buffs. Yeah, when you're up against one of those really annoying waves. And I think he comes in generally like strong. He comes in with that block buff ability. Okay, we don't have anything necessarily in these waves that are too much to deal with. Maybe an annoying Paragon. Let's just see if stage 21 is a little bit more annoying. I'm thinking of like the Valk waves. I'm thinking, no, maybe not. Maybe these ones just don't have it. But the AoE block buffs anyway is going to be useful. The heal and shield is going to be useful, especially if you're trying to get those 3 stars on the boss fights. And then generally, yeah, just a kind of decent passive on him as well. So I think all in all, he's pretty solid. He's not going to be the most nutty champion in the world, but you know, you've got an AoE block buffs against Man-Eater waves, against Basilisk waves, against Steel Skulls. All of that is good. Heal reduction as well. Actually, it is pretty damn solid for this exact wave. You've got Steel Skull trying to throw out the heals. You've got Man-Eater trying to throw out the unkillables. He's like, nah, I ain't having that. And then obviously when you get to the boss, the main thing you want to do on the boss is stay alive so you get your 3 stars. So, you know, he's going to help you do that just from his heal and his increased defense abilities. What is this boss? It's the, yeah, so these hit hard. I think the boss also, does he try and grab buffs? I think he tries and grabs buffs off these side ads. Let's see here. The ally attack comes in nasty. Look at that damage. Really high damage from the ally attack. You definitely want to kill the side ads here. But you see that heal brings us back in and gives us a chance, really. Now, obviously, my account's pretty stacked out. And yes, I've got a +4 Cupidus in here and all sorts. So I tried to not to use my main team here just so it wasn't too over the top, overpowered. But, you know, he is bringing an awful lot to this fight. So for Faction Wars, awesome. Kind of same sort of thing for Doom Tower waves. Doom Tower waves where you're up against those waves of enemies where buffs are flying out there. He's going to give you that block buff and heal reduction ability. You just then need to bring some more control and it's going to be solid. Also a good amount of buffs as well if you're trying to run something like a Seer comp. 3 buffs on your whole team actually really valuable. So I think I can see him running in quite a lot of content just as a kind of general support unit, support champion. The other place where I wondered if he was any good, honestly, is the arena. So if we're talking arena, then you're probably talking about maybe someone who might be throwing out buffs like a Seeker type team, or someone where you're expecting a Swift Parry type setup going on. Then you can throw out your block buffs. The only trouble is, like, even someone like a Netcrit here, there's a couple of things. One, I need to go first to get my abilities away before they do. That's the first thing. So it relies on a speed team. And if you're doing a speed team, I don't know if you would use him. I can't do anything about this going on. All of this silly stone skin stuff. And anything that's already out there, like block debuffs, if it's out there, I can't help it. But what I can do is, if I'm going first, I put my block buffs away. I get them away on these champions, which means that, you know, like the Seeker increased defense isn't going to land there. It did land here, interestingly, because of positioning. Seeker spread it before it landed on him. It's actually one of the kind of mechanics of the game. So even then, it's not helping us that much. It gives us an increased accuracy buff, which then helps me clean stuff off of other people, apart from the 50-50 dumb set over there. And then obviously you just kind of rely on, have you got enough damage to get the job done? So if they had a Swift Parry set, I would be able to deal with the Swift Parry set with his block buffs. But because of Stone Skin being in the game, we can't do a lot. We can't do a lot until he's had 2 turns, unfortunately. Now maybe with Stone Skin gone, we can blow people up. Oh, what a toxic set. What an awful addition to the game. Similar here. So someone like a Skull Crown, if you're up against Skull Crown, he comes in pretty clutch because her unkillable buff will not work. Yeah, so we're able to throw out the block buffs. She can't now put the unkillable up, and it should then be a really comfortable win. So that's pretty much where I see him being used in the arena, and I think he could do a good job of it. Did she get hit off before we did? I guess she did. I think he could do a good job of it, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know if he's going to be like a meta champion. I think he's better in Hydra and better as a kind of support unit running through dungeons than he would be in the arena. But just because of the meta right now, you know, look at what we're up against. Top of gold 4. Look at what we are up against. A +4. It's actually this is a genius team, by the way. I love this team. Damn, that is disgusting. Absolute filth, this team. Protecting Mortu. They're waiting for him to get his what do you call it? His block revive ability ready. They're all built as absolute units, so that any sort of Trunder damage is doing nothing. Oh, it's so disgusting. Absolute filth team. Anyway, there you go. Look, so Archbishop, I think he's actually decent. I think he's a decent champion. I think if you're going to get him, then you're definitely going to get some use out of him. I can see him playing in a bunch of different Hydra teams for me. But, yeah, if you're not into that kind of Hydra scene and you're not really struggling with waves in Doom Tower, then maybe you don't use him so much. Anyway, I've been Hell Hades. Hope that was useful. I will see you later.